3D printing on Build a Nerd. After a long absence, Build a Nerd and the Clone Wars have returned. As casualties mount, the Republic is in dire need of new capital ships to push back the droid armies led by the ruthless Count Dooku. Luckily, Jedi Knight Build a Nerd leads the charge towards a solution, but he and the Republic struggle to find the funds to continue to build capital ships and new content. As the new Venator class Star Destroyer is completed, Build a Nerd turns his attention towards growing the subscriber nerd clone army to help win the war and restore balance throughout the YouTubes.
Hello there! Oh my god, Clone Wars is back. Clone Wars is back. Oh my god. In today's video, we celebrate the return of Star Wars The Clone Wars by 3D printing the Venator Star Destroyer that is heavily seen throughout the series and the prequel movies. Let's check it out.
We should just start over.
Okay, so Star Wars Revenge of the Sith was not only the first Star Wars movie I remember seeing in theaters, it was one of the first movies I remember seeing in theaters, period. And I have always loved that. And then when Clone Wars came out in 2008, I was 10 years old, the perfect age for it. I fell in love immediately. This show brought so much to the era of Star Wars, which I consider to be my Star Wars. It was my first introduction to it, and it was, the one that was catered towards me as my age group. And the show brought so much to so many characters that, you just can't do in a 2-hour runtime, even with the trilogy. Main characters like Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme got so much time to be their relationships to be flushed out in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. It really elevated their characters by a huge amount. And the actors that portrayed those characters did such an amazing job. You have Matt Lanter, James Arnold Taylor, and Catherine Tabor. Just such an amazing job bringing those characters to life in a way we've never really seen before. And we got to see Palpatine really slowly take over the Republic, which was just awesome. It really brought out the menace that is the Phantom Menace. You get to see him take power, just slow and methodical, slowly taking over more and more of the Republic. And then later in the seasons, you see him taking over the banks, taking over more power through the Senate. You get to see him work behind the scenes and manipulate the Jedi and the galaxy as a whole until where we find them in A New Hope. And the clones, wow, the clones. When you're watching an Attack of the Clones from Revenge of the Sith, rarely do you think that, hey, they're each individual different people. They have different wants, different desires, all that. The clones were really cool, but they were pretty faceless, and besides Jango Fett, you never really got to see what they were like. But in this series, that is brought out amazingly. And you get to see characters like Rex, Fives, really a whole Domino Squad also. And we really get to see the clones start to question, this blind loyalty that was programmed into them, start to question the war in general by the end of the series. But beyond all the other characters that I've already talked about, really, you can't talk about the series and not talk about Ahsoka. This character went from being not really liked by main audiences in the original movie to one of the most beloved characters in all of Star Wars. I know she's personally my second favorite character, just behind Anakin and Vader, but Ashley Eckstein does an amazing job bringing out this character and really showing her growth and her growing up from Padawan to where we see her at the end of season 6 and then eventually on in Rebels too. I'm so excited to see how her story ends and the entire Clone Wars series. I never thought this series would ever come back, and because of that, I'm just so excited for this new season. It's almost a return to my childhood. I get to go back in time and watch this series like I did when I was just a kid. Okay, I could talk about this show literally forever, but we need to get to the 3D print, so let's talk about the 3D print.
This Venator class Star Destroyer was printed on my Creality CR10 in a gunmetal silver PLA, and after I ran out of that, I printed it in this Bahama Blue PLA from Zyltech, which came out really nice. Most of the print came out pretty good, but some of the sides were not as great. Since these are horizontal pieces, it was expected that they wouldn't turn out the best. Also, they're such small details, and they kind of get lost in the entire ship. I did also notice 1 or 2 file errors on the print. Some of these things do happen when you enlarge the print from its original size. But despite all these things, It's a great print, and it's a great piece to add to my collection.
Thanks so much for watching the video. Are you excited as I am now that the Clone Wars series is back? What did you think of the 3D print? Let me know in the comment section down below. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe down below as well. And until next time, may the Force be with you.
Survive.